believe it. I can't believe it.
I cannot believe my eyes.
Eyes. Ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and
boys and
girls.
girls, children of all ages. The world is not at a great place
Mhm.
right now. And to add to that, this is the final episode of the season. Oh,
Woo!
you're clapping. Are you celebrating it? I wonder,
No,
when we come back, should we just do 52 weeks straight?
no, no, please, no.
Ah,
I
Are you
can't.
sure?
I'm sorry, I can't. This how many episodes we've done has drained me beyond recognition. Can you not see my face? Is this how I looked when we started? Please.
Well,
I've,
guys,
I've been through a lot. Speaking to this guy every week is uh,
we already speak, but we spoke regularly.
yeah, but now it comes with work. It's
Oh,
like,
please.
like before when we would talk, I put the phone down and the conversation's over. Now
You
we're
have to go back and
scheduling
listen,
episodes. We have to
and you have to hear
listen.
my voice all over again.
Oh, I don't,
Yeah,
I feel, I don't know about you, but I feel like my voice is so grating. Like it's so.
it is. It is. I don't think I'm still used to hearing my voice because even when I go back and like play our episodes,
Mm.
I have to like put the volume low because I'm just like
I'm
I
like,
don't
Vanessa,
want to
calm
hear
down.
myself.
Like you're
Like I
supposed to
don't
be.
want to
What's
hear
that?
myself.
Yeah,
But
I
but
wanted to be more
yeah.
relaxed, but it doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Or you wanted to be demure, you wanted to be like cool with it, just like
No, but
laid back, drop a
the
few
thing
wisdom
is,
here and there and deep.
no, do you know what? Prior to this podcast, the people who only saw the side of me were my friends. So I
And
remember
now
I was in
there's
everyone now
400
thinks I'm
people.
crazy. Like I know, right? Somebody I remember I was in a gathering and we had to we had to go around, like maybe they say, okay, B, say your first impression of Van.
Mm.
And someone said, oh, like she's very reserved, very quiet, only speaks when she needs to speak. The way Lois just like turned her head, like, who? And it's
Dead.
so weird because a lot of people, like, I did have a lot of messages though that people didn't know, like, I can talk this much. And for me, it's like,
Mm.
yeah, because even when I had my YouTube channel, like, my videos, I didn't raise my voice. I was just very chill. But you guys get to see what I'm like when I'm with my friends. I'm very unserious. In fact, I remember when we had Dammy's hen do and we went to the spa. Gabby just kept staring at me. She's like, Vanessa, like, I never knew you were like this. I'm like, to be fair, like when I'm like relaxed, when I'm around people that I love and care about and I'm comfortable, I am like my true self, which is very unserious. And the thing is that a lot of people have seen me in like very, very, very serious situations. So they can't
Situations.
reconcile who they know versus this. Like, don't get it twisted.
Mm.
Like, I take my life very seriously in terms of like my finances, my career, my business. But outside of that, God is helping me. So that's it. That's who I
Yeah.
is.
I don't think I think people already had an idea about me, so I don't think this
Mm,
brought out like any side. I did have a friend say though it was good because we don't talk often, so he would listen and it was almost like, oh yeah, he's checking in and he knows what's going on a bit in my life and
um,
can learn some other things about me. So I thought that was really when he said that, I was like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, so
perfect.
guys, basically, like I said, so this is it doesn't mean the podcast has ended. We are coming back. It
Are
doesn't
we?
mean there won't be content. Content will be coming out on YouTube and the likes and TikTok and Instagram. But there'll be no new episodes for a little while. But I do have to say though, I don't know, like being able to have done this for since October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 8 months, right? To have done this for like 8 months, I would just want to say, like, first of all, if it was only me, maybe people will see episode, you see like 3 weeks in a row, then you won't see me for 4 weeks, then you see me 2 weeks, you won't see me for 5 weeks, then you see me 1 week. So I think it was really, really good to actually like do this with you, Van.
Oh,
And
nice.
actually show that yeah, I could actually stick to something and actually like do it for an extended period of time. So that was yeah, that was really, really good. Like and I enjoyed it and I learned a lot. Um I think we can jump into that. Like, I think one of my favorite episodes is like the Milka episode,
Mm.
the one about like the politics and the likes, because that episode made me think about beyond my day to day. Right, forced me to
Okay.
like take in and be more conscious about like I think we said in that episode a lot of us are not like reading enough. We're not educating ourselves
We're not
on
aware of our like our surroundings outside of
our
what affects us
surroundings
directly.
and exactly so
Yeah.
because of that I've had to be like more cautious, more like just in tune. So that was an episode for me that I think was one of the ones that had a big impact. And also the episode with like the faith therapist was another episode because it made my thinking align, because they were like, to me I had like separate worlds, and I'm someone that like compartmentalize everything. So I'll be like, oh, this is my church mind, this is my work, this is friends, this is faith, this is. So when she was like linking how you know my mental health affect, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like there were things I've thought about to a certain level because we've had Ruth on as well,
Mm.
who was amazing. But that episode also just allowed my mind to do like a little, oh, hold on. I never, thought of this. And yeah, that was like really, really good. And oh my God, again, I think one of the best conversations, Laulu, at the very beginning. That
Mm.
conversation was like,
I mean, it's the only
yeah,
episodes we split in two.
yeah, yeah.
It was
yeah.
so good. We didn't
Well,
want her to stop talking.
to be honest, if we left recording with Ore, that could have gone on. Because
Oh, that
after
was. Oh,
after
yeah.
the episode, we were on for like another hour plus,
Yeah, about an
just
hour and a half.
speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
so
also if we had left that recording and posted that, that would have been like,
that'll be the end of us.
yeah, would have been done.
Everybody
Would have
go
been
home.
done. Yeah, everyone
Everybody
go
go
home.
home. Like,
Lights out. We're playing Candy now. DJs like
yeah,
turn the turn the lights on. But yeah. Do you know what's interesting is, first of all, I think this pod has helped me understand that you just need to start.
yeah,
Because one of the things that I thought was very profound with the way this came about is that we didn't think about it too much. I remember
mm,
for like the first few weeks we kept saying, "Are we really doing this? Like, what's going on? Like, we're actually doing it." But we didn't think about it enough to reconsider doing it. So we just said,
yeah.
you know what? Within a week of saying we're going to do this podcast, our first episode was live, I'm sure. Or or maybe the week after.
Yeah, because
Um,
what we recorded as a test episode,
was
and
our first
again,
episode, wasn't it?
and because we put it out, and next thing we know, it had like clicks, and because it was meant to be a trial for how we'd put out socials, how we would record, and then it just went on its own, and we're like, oh, okay, uh, we'll leave that. But yeah, go on. You were saying,
Yeah. So yeah, it just showed me that you just need to start, and it inspired me to like do other things as well that I'm currently working on.
mm,
That probably I will share in season two. Um, but I think, as I said, we've had very good conversations. I I loved the episodes with all our guests, all of them, like bar none.
yeah,
Like it was amazing. Obviously, with the therapists, we had obviously Milka on, we've had Ore on, we've had Laulu. I mean, the conversation with Laulu, I think, was very like long overdue because one of the reasons he spoke to me was because it's one of those episodes where let's stop lying. Like, let's stop lying. No, I'm being serious. Let's stop lying to ourselves because I feel like when it comes to Christians and how we navigate life, a lot of us are living in shame, and a lot of us are
mm,
living in like disappointment of, am I doing it wrong? And you kind of put yourself under undue pressure until you talk to someone else and you're like, oh, so I'm not a heathen. Oh, so this is normal. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, where we go to seek help, we receive judgment. So it was nice to actually see that we share similar struggles, even down
Mm.
to the way like Christian churches treat singles, even down to the way like dating happens when you're like dating for marriage as opposed to dating like, for flings and stuff. It was insightful. But also even with the faith therapist, one thing that struck me was when she mentioned that when she was going to become a therapist, she had to undergo therapy, but also
Oh yeah.
it taught her compassion. And when you have a therapist, you almost expect them to like have like textbook stuff, which is like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have, issues in your
You have
relationships
this,
with
so
your
this you
friends,
do
this,
ABC.
do this, do this, do this. But they never talk about the compassion part where it's like,
Mm.
I need to empathize with this person because if say for example a colleague at work came to me and asked for advice and my best friend came to me and asked for the exact same advice, the advice I would give would be different. It doesn't make one better than the other or one more right. It's just like the way I would advise my best friend is what I would tell myself. Like, okay,
Yeah,
do this, do this, do
the
this. If I was
empathy will
yeah,
be level will be
the
different
empathy
as
would be
well.
the difference in it, as
Mm.
opposed to my colleague where I'd be like, let me tell her what I think she wants to hear or make her feel better. But just
Or
let's not
even
get
give
too
the
personal about it.
politically correct answer.
Exactly, the PC answer there. So
Yeah.
that was very, very important to me because I feel like a lot of people who I know who didn't have a good experience with therapy like we did, what they lacked in that bit, that the gap that they had was compassion.
Mm.
And so I think it was a very good episode. Obviously, I also liked the one of my I would say my top three actually. Sorry, guests.
Go
My
on.
top three. One of my top three. I won't give one off the top of my head, but one that I would say maybe top three or top five was the one where God says not yet.
Oh, that
That
episode.
episode because
Nah.
it helped us like
Please.
highlight like
I
what.
just realized how many episodes I like showed my mental state on this.
No, but didn't we say that this was
Ah!
going to be like raw and unfiltered and a safe space?
Yeah, but I'm just realizing like I was really out there just saying, "Oh yeah, this week I'm I'm depressed."
Yeah. No, but
Yeah.
that's no, but you know what? And this is the point I'm literally trying to make as well, is the fact that as Christians we pray a lot of things away. Like no one
Mm.
really wants to talk about the elephant in the room, even though it's literally staring us in the face, right? No one wants to be honest about the fact that you can be a Christian and you can be depressed. Like people say, oh my God, depression is an affliction. Are you aware that there's a lot of factors that contribute to your mental state? Like,
Yeah.
and the fact that a lot of, once again, Christians don't show compassion, it kind of pours salt on the wound. So the fact that you pray, we've done Hallelujah Challenge together, did we not?
Oh
But it
yeah, it was
doesn't
my first
mean
time doing that this year.
yeah, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you don't have your financial issues. It doesn't mean like you're not running your multiple businesses and you're stressed. It doesn't mean that you're trying,
Oh my
you're
days, I was
looking at
really
your employment situation. Like there's a lot of things that we've spoken about on this pod that I've spoken about as well, where it's like you have struggles as a Christian who's dating for marriage, who's waiting for marriage and all those things. You have urges. Like let's talk about the things that we're obviously not talking about in church because it almost feels as though
mm.
you relinquish you're asking God to relinquish control of your life if you say things that you're going through, they'll tell you, oh, don't confess negativity, call things out as though they were. But I feel like sometimes we've kind of gone into the whole denial where we've turned positive confession into denial. Like there's nothing wrong with saying I'm strong in Jesus' name, but please go to a hospital.
Yeah.
Please like seek a financial advisor. Yes, God will supply all your needs according to his riches, your riches glory in Christ Jesus. But if you have debt, if you have addictions, if you have mental health struggles, please seek help. Like it doesn't mean that
Mm.
God is not still the Alpha and Omega. It just means that you still need to be wise. Like wisdom is profitable to direct, right? So I feel like it just the whole all the conversations that we've had within like the past months, almost a year now, of this pod, it's just opened my eyes to see that Vanessa, like you're not alone. First of all, you're not alone, but also like it's made me more aware of our like so like environment.
Mm.
And even like I was talking to you before we started recording, like I'm, you know, I think I've mentioned it on this pod actually, so I will say it, which is that I want to be more conscious about what I wear, especially when I'm going out. So I want to wear a lot more made in Nigeria items. And the reason I say that is because of the
Mm.
material that's used, the way their workers are paid. No one is paying a Nigerian worker 1p. The least they're getting is minimum wage, at least from the brands that I patronize anyway.
Okay, I
So
just wanted to say it's dependent on the
exactly. So
brand because
I've also done my research. I've also done my research, and um, some of them, like as I said, like they're amazing and they're timeless pieces. You know, there's the
mm,
pieces I know that they will not go out of style because I also want to move away from having things in my wardrobe that's specific to a particular era. Like corsets will be out of style maybe in the next 3 or 4 years. You know, so do I really want to have 10 corset outfits in my wardrobe? Maybe not. But anyway, you were going to say something, B.
yeah, no, as we were saying about like us being open to speaking about different things, I think it's I'll just share for the people as an encouragement and also to explain what my why was behind like the podcast. So because there's a conversation with a friend and we're talking about how there is a lot of misinformation, people who are, being heard are people who are saying the wrong things or giving the wrong direction. And then when people want the right things or are looking for, you know, the right voice,
They can't
right?
find it.
They can't find it. And even when we do have people who are speaking good, speaking well, speaking the right things, encouraging people and the likes, those voices are not supported, they are not pushed, they are not encouraged. And I was like, oh, I think got to a point where I was like, okay, instead of just at this point waiting for someone else to do it, let me add my voice and let's outnumber a bit of the bad voices, right? Let's have a space that's, and I think when we started, I really didn't want it to, I do not want to be a Christian podcast, right? But we are Christians. And I think it was finding that balance of like, no, it wasn't even about finding the balance. It was being yourself. But is that thing where they say, oh, your Christianity is your personality and you can't do anything else. No, it was being able to show like, look, we are human. It doesn't mean I'm, going to be like, yeah, because I saying let it just happen. Then no, it's like you can actually just be yourself and let God be in you and speak through you and do whatever He wants to do. But you can also come on here and say, Arsenal lost, or why are they selling Boo Boo for 200, or oh my God, this, and not coming with the, toot your nose, raise your shoulders and all that. No, just being a normal human being. I think it's time we get back to just seeing normal people or
Mm,
people with just common sense. We don't need extreme on of the dial where it's like, oh,
yeah.
men hate women. Or although I said that at one point, but all the way to the extreme of like, stay at home. Why? Oh, the government. And
Yeah.
obviously, we're not saying be ignorant, but like we can just have people sharing opinions and not fighting over it as if it's facts. You know, and people just speaking right. And I think for anyone, because at one point, you guys have to understand that there are episodes where we didn't know what we were going to say. We didn't have anything planned. You have to understand, Van is a planner. So she's a, and okay, let me, well, my ADHD. So there are episodes where we didn't have anything we were going to say. I was about to drift into a whole new topic about Van is a planner, but we didn't have anything we were going to say. But I think we just knew like we talk all the time. We're friends, we get along, and let's just talk. Removing that fear of like I have to have it figured out before I start, and not like actually start the podcast, but actually like go record the episode. So there are moments we could be like, hey, if we don't have anything, let's just Should we just leave it? I think
Mm.
it's only like 1 week we didn't post. 1 week we missed a scheduled post.
Yeah.
One. Other than that, we've pre-recorded. But we'll just come and and somehow we'll find something to talk about. We'll just start blabbing. We'll find something to talk about. So if you are like saying, "Oh, I want to start something," I will strongly encourage you to start. Coming from the guy who we pre-plan, set the engine running, rev up the car, and then close the car and
Kaput.
shut the door. Not even kaput, just close the car and shut the door. That idea before you see it again, right? So I think, yeah, if this gives any encouragement, and what I was going to say about like Van being a planner, I think also what has helped, and I'm not trying to say if you don't have this skill set, it doesn't mean it's not going to work. One, I grew up very, very into YouTube, very, very into content. Um, and so I had some pre-knowledge about, like, I'd already bought like some products down when I wanted to do a YouTube, a podcast show before. I think I've shared on my story where I have like all the people who were going to be guests. Actually, we could always just go back there and pick people out for season two, right? Um, but then Van is such a planner that when we're starting, she was she did research. She looked into things. We have a sheet that's like, is it pre-recorded? Is it, being edited? Like some of the unfiltered space we have for season two, the questions are already there because we didn't even get to go
Mm.
through the questions. So she brought structure, but at the same time there were times where the structure couldn't help and we didn't say, oh, because we don't have a title, oh, this is not part of the list, so let's,
So we had some like kind of flexibility to it,
flexible. I not
and
even like just like
we
go
weren't too
for it.
hard on ourselves. It's like, okay, let's just talk.
That's another thing.
Let's
That's
just let's
another
just
thing.
talk. We're friends, so we'll
Like
find something to say. Sometimes we have a topic and we talk about that topic for 10 minutes because we've segued into something else that then
something
becomes
that,
the
yeah,
episode. So yeah, but it's been fun.
it's been fun. What has happened this season?
Okay, we'll
What
talk. We'll
else
talk.
happened?
We'll talk about it. B. So,
No, because we
um,
had some, like, first of all, and I think I mentioned this in 2 episodes ago. Thank you all. I think we what 400 plus across both
mm,
social platforms. So we really want to say thank you. 30 plus, and I'm also saying these numbers because I think people think the numbers have to be like great,
thousands. Yeah.
for you to be like encouraged. No, like I think 30 people are like following on Spotify, which is crazy. That's 30 people.
Sorry. So just to interrupt you very quickly, I saw a video. I don't know if I sent it to you. I saw a video on TikTok yesterday that touched me. She said you need to give yourselves like a pat on the back when you're looking at your numbers. 250 people fill up a cinema screen.
The theater, yeah.
So if you have 250 followers or 250 views, that's one screen. You have
Mm,
20,000 views. That's the O2.
yeah.
So if you think about the fact that a fully sold out show at the O2 is 20K people, and those people have watched your video, it kind of gives you like a different perspective of like, okay, these
Mm-hmm.
aren't small numbers. They're not.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes you
So
need to,
yeah.
and those numbers they increase exponentially. The way we went, what we went from in February to where we are now was like this. Like we didn't
Guys,
see it, we didn't see it coming. So
I
thank
think
you.
even because like for a while it was the numbers were like just plateaued. So it's like maybe one person in 1 week, or and I think that's the thing about consistency, and also again having that why. I think our why was beyond the numbers, right? So it's not like
Mm,
we want to, I don't think, obviously it will be great if the growth continues and we're able to do more with the platform, because the ideas we had during this podcast, I think I told you if we need to start putting newsletter to tell people what the political thing is going on, for stuff
Mm,
we said about like educating people. And so it'd be great to do those things. But
mhm.
because the why was beyond the numbers, I think that also helped. And then obviously having someone that can encourage you and you're not like fixated on it. So I just want to say, yeah, thank you to everyone that
Thank you.
supported. I'm pretty sure by the time we come back, the YouTube would have grown, and hopefully other parts of the banter and belief ecosystem or
Mm,
ethos, whatever I want to call it. See, Van has big dreams, so Van has big dreams. I'm usually very hesitant to. I'm the like daydreamer, but when it comes to like things like this, I'm usually like, let me know. But Van would just come and say, we can do this. And I'm like, oh, wait, okay, we're dreaming that far. Then when I come back and say it, Van will be like, oh, you started again. And I'm like, wait, you are the one who put the idea in my head. You put the idea in my head, you know. So yeah, it was really good to like bounce off each other. Yeah, what were other memorable moments?
I remember there was a day I was sleeping.
That's
Um
when I was sleeping.
I was sleeping as I do, woke up, did my quiet time, and I just looked at my phone and B had messaged me. He's just sent me a screenshot. Van, what's going on? Like I think it was like at that time it was 267 shares
Well,
on the
I think
video.
which of them was this, the
So this
FOP one?
was this was the FOP one. That was the first
Oh yeah.
one.
Oh,
And I
that
was
FOP
like,
one was
I was
so
so
funny.
scared. I was so scared. I'm like, because I didn't know which video it was. I was just like, what did we say? And which of us said it? Because
That
very important. But that one was a very funny one because
that was so funny.
the banter in the comment
In the
section
comments.
was good. So
Okay, first of all,
obviously,
yeah. Can we just
yeah,
clarify something? Why is everyone keeps calling me uncle? Everyone keeps
uncle.
calling me uncle. First of all, it's brother. Let's just clarify that now. My
No, it's
sister is
uncle.
I'm a brother. No, I'm a brother.
You're an uncle. You're
Brother
B.
is my no.
B.
Brother is my title.
The,
Like
the
anyone
B.
who knows me is
They don't know
brother.
you. They don't know you.
They should. Nice to meet you, brother, not uncle. Which one is
No.
uncle? I'm
No,
not the
I'm
uncle yet.
sorry.
Please,
They
please,
don't. They
please,
don't. They
please,
don't
please,
know
please.
you. They don't know you.
Oh,
So
I'm okay. I'm an uncle to a few kids, but like I'm not the
your
uncle
uncle.
yet.
Your uncle B. But so that
Uncle
was
B is
fun
crazy.
because the comment section was very funny. And then
Yeah.
I think a few weeks later, let's say 3 weeks later, B sent me another one. So I was excited. And then I saw what he said, and then I saw the comments.
Oh,
And I
that's
think
so
that's
funny,
our
bro.
most watched video to date because it was too much. And
Oh,
there's a
I just
particular
want
guy
to
that
say thank you to this guy.
people were fight like this. I don't know if people took their days off to fight this man in the comments because I don't like it went beyond clout. It was like ignorance at this point. And
That
but
was so
everyone
funny.
who responded to him, he had something to say. He had something to say. And I was
Fam,
just
he
like,
was fighting
he
everyone.
was
I'm like,
fighting everyone.
bro.
Like left, right, and center. He was giving Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie
Ah,
Yen.
that
Like
was so
my guy
funny.
was just watch out. What did Oluwa Blacko say? Bukai, 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 Bukai.
That
But
that was just so
that
much.
was too funny. And do you know what's interesting about it is that it's nice that it showed the range of our podcast because our very first viral video was about a Christian event. And then our second one was about Nigerian men not liking women. Our third one was about African parents being neurodivergent. So at the
Oh
end of the day,
yeah.
it just showed the range of our podcast, right? We've had a few viral
Yeah.
ones. We had the one where, B came, yeah. He came to explain himself after that one went viral. Because there's another one that went viral where he said that
Oh my
Nigerian men hire
god.
their wives, right? But our most viral one was the one where he said Nigerian men don't like women. So eventually, when we had another episode with Ore, where Ore was like, oh, why did they drag you? And then he explained it. So he stitched the video, the first video, and then stitched it with a response, right?
And then
They
they
dragged him
continued
again.
dragging me. I still
Like
don't get it. I
that
think this
video
time
went viral again. I'm
I'm
like,
like, I'm explaining this properly now. I like the first time I was
there's
telling
no,
one long,
there's no way to
yeah, the first
misunderstand
time I told
him.
one long story, and I was being intricate, I was putting nuance.
They
This
don't
time I was
care.
like, it's simple. They still said,
And guess
oh,
what?
there,
My comment on that video was, watch how they still misunderstand him.
misunderstand it. Yeah,
And
it's
that comment got so many likes, and it was very clear why it got so many likes because they misunderstood him again.
it was just
And
too
our
funny.
lovely guy, our champion, he came back. I said,
He
Uncle,
came back
how
for
did you
round
see
two.
us?
I don't know if he
Is he
follows us.
following? He might be
I
following
don't
us,
know. Who knows?
but
Who knows? Who knows? Who
it,
knows?
it was it was too funny. But I really liked our viral videos because we had a few actually. We had a few viral videos, and it just showed the range of our
The
podcast.
Ranger.
We've talked about everything. We've
I
talked about sustainable fashion. We've talked about climate
Oh
change.
yeah,
We've
there
talked
was
about
the
mental health. We've talked about dating. We've
politics,
talked about
dating, the
politics.
church,
We've talked about everything,
work.
and it
Yeah,
work, career, finance, like even waiting for for God's time,
like I didn't.
everything possible. Like we've talked about investment. We've talked about the stock market. We've talked
Oh
B
yeah,
like this like, and that's what I wanted us to get to, which was what B was saying, which is like you don't have to have a niche. I think having a niche is so overrated because you don't have to have like, okay, we're a Christian podcast. We only talk about God and the virtuous woman and Sarah and Esther and waiting and stuff. We're Christians who have a normal life. So I'm a Christian who works. I'm a Christian who has a business. I'm a Christian who invests. I'm a Christian who
yeah.
goes out with my friends. So I like clothes. I like food. Like there's many things I like. I have interests. You have interests. So why don't we talk about it? The only difference is like where our Christianity like plays an integral part in all of this is our approach to it. So the
Yeah,
way
that's the
that
thing.
we
Our
talk about
approach to
dating is
life.
different. The way
Yeah.
we talk about money is different. So when we talk about finance, you would never hear on a non-Christian podcast, like a podcast with non-believers about tithing.
Mm.
When we're talking about
Or
dating,
yeah.
premarital
Or,
sex
or,
is
or even
not a
like
topic. Like
or even like the sacrifice of it. It stems from like where your morals and values are
exactly,
based.
and that's that's what cuts. Like we even talked about being a Christian, like the struggles of being a Christian owner and trying to do things ethically, especially like the way that
Ethically,
materials are sourced.
yeah.
Like you might talk about it from a morality standpoint on a different podcast, but you wouldn't talk about it from like a Christian podcast. Like, is this what God has called us to,
To
to do?
do. Yeah.
And for me, it's like that's the essence of life. Like you want to come to this podcast and listen to it and not feel as though we're judging you. You want to feel
Mm-hmm.
included. You want to feel like, oh, so it's not just me who has this struggle, or it's not just me who
I
goes through
just
this,
remembered.
Oh God, what?
Yeah. I just remembered something. Guys, for all the day ones, haven't I gotten better with my I've lost it again.
Media
Haven't I
training.
with my media training? Yes. Haven't I gotten better? Do you remember when I said do you remember when I said I Ubered a
Oh, so yeah.
and
Let
the
me
ladies in the community were like, excuse me,
no.
explain yourself
To be
and do
fair though,
better.
to be
But
fair, I
yeah,
blame Laolu because I think that's the most unfiltered I've ever been on this pod. It was like verbal diarrhea. Like I was just talking, I was just exposing myself,
the
exposing my life on that particular episode. But
on
once
that
again,
episode, yeah.
it was raw, it was unfiltered, and that's what we want. I think it probably is in our top 3 most listened to episodes. The one
Episode
with
yeah.
Laolu, because a
On
lot of people
Spotify. Yeah.
resonated with it. Because the truth is, as I said,
Oh yeah, that's
we
true.
have we have struggles, and a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. First of all, I like the fact that on this pod we have male and female representation. Please, all pronouns duly observed. Thank you. But we have male and female representation on here, so it's not a situation where you guys can say, "Oh, guys have gathered to bash women. Oh, girls have gathered to
Mm.
bash men." We have like
And
a
and
balanced
even
take
with the
on things.
bashing is what I was saying earlier about like the right voices
Yes.
also being represented and in a space where it's not just like every day you're looking for something and it's just someone saying another like
Mm.
random thing and whatnot. So yeah, no, it's been really really fun. We have some exciting ideas for season 2. One of my hope for season 2 is that we would actually be recording in the same space.
Mm.
Yeah, so so we're gonna be working towards that, and I do hope we can pull it off. And yeah, if we pull it off, Van will be so sick of me because she'll have to be seeing me almost every week, and I already know she'll be annoyed
Yeah, I
at
think the last
that.
time we saw each other that frequently was when we went to uni.
Yeah, so for Van to see me every week, yeah,
It's gonna be a
she'll be
lot. Dude,
annoyed.
I'm gonna go into a place of prayer and fasting. I'm going
Good,
to fortify myself and ask God for divine wisdom and strength.
please. And there are some names we've like dropped on this podcast that I would like to see them in person on our episodes. Stella
E.g.
Damascus,
No. Her name is
Dwayne
Stella Damascus. Her
Damascus. My
name is
apologies. My
Please, I'm
apologies.
begging you. Don't mislead our followers, please.
Habits, it's like cellophane. Sorry. There are just certain things you grow up. We mentioned Dwayne the Stoic. We
Dwayne the
mentioned
Stoic. Oh my
we
God,
men-
Dwayne.
obviously we mentioned Dave Creates.
Dave Chris. That he has to come. Two fans here.
Um
Two fans.
who else? We obviously
Praise
they
for
I
what
said
way.
I said what I said, ladies. Praise for
Praise for what. But
yeah.
yeah, Jolan FK definitely.
So yeah, those are
Yeah,
like some people like I mean obviously we want a pastor
Hmm.
because but it's like finding the right person, and if they are willing to be grilled, if they are willing to,
I actually had a
actually
pastor
like
reach out to me that they want to be on this pod, and I'm like, huh.
if you come, that's the issue. The grilling, they will
We'll
be
grill you, and whatever you
yeah,
say is gonna go out to your congregation.
yeah. We
So,
would actually
but
grill you, but I think
we'll grill you.
obviously, I think Josh will be interesting because of his job. We've mentioned him before. Um,
Zubeem.
Zubi, yeah, we want Zubi as well. Zubi, there's one person that's supposed to have come. She will be the first guest next season.
Who?
Lois. Lois,
Oh
you will be
no!
the first guest.
I actually want Lois and Zubi on the same episode.
I was literally thinking that. Like Zubi and
They
Lois on
would
the
they would
same episode.
and by God's grace, Lao Lu is coming back.
Oh yeah, Laulu. Oh, and then with parents as well. We talked about interviewing
Yes, we
speaking
want
to
to
young
interview
parents
parents.
as well.
Yes.
So yeah, we
That should
have
be fun. And also, like, if you're actually interested, like, reach out to us because I feel like I want to situate because right now, we've mentioned people that we have close proximity to. We might not know them personally, but we
but
know
yeah, they're
of
within
them. But there are people
yeah.
that I feel like would be able to share their expertise on this podcast, but we don't know, we haven't heard of you, but you've heard of us, in
Yeah,
our
that's the
dragon
thing.
form.
See, guys, feel free to reach out if you want to
Reach out to us
come
at
on.
banterandbelief at
Yeah,
gmail, banterandbelief@gmail.com.
yeah. So, but obviously there'll be other things happening in between now and when we come back. I'm so excited for when we come back. I've told Van we need to do photo shoot for season 2. You know the way like the receipt podcast and all, when I start doing those type of shoots, I'll now feel like I'll feel like one of the big babes of like podcasts.
Big
You know,
babes, not the big
yes.
boys or the big bros of podcasts. Big
Listen,
babes.
I don't do all those. Oh, because I'm masculine, I have to use,
Fair.
that's for them. I can be a bit zesty. But, oh my God, someone will be like, why is this so fruity?
You are a bit fruity, to be fair. You are.
I have 4 sisters. I grew up
There's
with
nothing.
women.
There's nothing
What do
wrong
you
with it.
expect?
It's just like it's
Do,
cute.
do you remember? I don't know if you ever saw the clip from Annette's Pop the Balloon, and a girl said the way the guy was
He was standing
standing,
like a baddie, and he stands like a
buddy.
baddie.
That's the way I stand. And I still don't get it. That's the way I stand. So yeah.
I know someone that he's still like that one. Like because obviously I seen the episode. I was like, why you stand like a baddie? And then he burst out laughing. It's actually
So
true.
yeah. But Van, you have some ideas for between now and season 2.
Mm-hmm. No. It
Okay.
won't like we no, we're not revealing that.
Oh, okay.
What happened to the element of surprise?
Oh,
And please,
sorry.
they're gonna hold us accountable if we don't do some of those things. So I know human beings. So so
Yeah,
let's not do that.
some of them will call us out. But no, once again, guys, thank you so much for the love, for the
Honestly,
support.
I can't
Yeah, we
believe
look
we're
forward to doing more.
podcasters.
We're
Have I
podcasters.
updated
So
my bio?
I actually have to put
Like,
co-host at Banter, I believe.
I'm actually gonna
That's
do it
funny.
now. I'm gonna do it
That's
now.
actually funny. But yeah.
Oh, I did put it on my Instagram, podcaster at Banter and Belief Pod.
Well done. Me, I don't have it on mine.
Hey, energy, energy,
I actually do
energy,
not have it on mine.
energy,
But yeah.
energy, energy.
No, but on a serious note, guys, if you're planning something towards later in the year and you want to come on, yeah, let us know. Like, if you want us to help you, like maybe promo, are we doing promo? Because we're just in energy. If you're an artist, if you're anything, come on, look, we can chat about anything and everything out here. First
Yes,
of all, we
yes.
speak like how many languages between us? We're well traveled, we studied. There's almost nothing we can't have a conversation about, from
True.
F1 to bio something to
Mm.
investments to, and it's because, well, those are the things we are actively involved in and we do.
We've got a
Someone
good head
get
on
me
our
to the
shoulders.
paddock. Someone get me to a paddock for F1. Guys, by grace of God, before I cover for season 2, if I don't blow, I'll just be like, Pattern Believe on their way to Singapore F1. Would I do a vlog and everything?
If I'm going to Singapore, it's not for F1. I'm sorry.
Listen, F1 and
I have
F1 has to be part of it.
I have a very very tumultuous relationship with F1. I'll explain offline, but it's a
Oh, okay.
very yeah.
But yeah. Well, yeah, guys.
Yeah, so on behalf of BNI, thank you so much. It's been a time. It's been an amazing time. I've had fun.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to season 2, bigger, better. Strong. What did Kanye say? Harder, better, faster, stronger. That was
See,
such a bop. But
something
anyway,
I'm going to get Van to do next season is sing more.
why?
I'll make that my personal mission. In
Why?
fact, we should get Van to release new music next season. Oh my
Okay,
days, Van.
how many things do you want from me?
Van. You know what we should do?
What? An intro.
Yes. Oh my days. How did I not think about that?
Do you know what's interesting? In my YouTube channel, I did the intro.
Van, you should. You should make a little like Banter and Believe.
Okay, I'll come up with one. I'll come up with a jingle.
Yeah,
Actually,
there
so
you go.
my twin brother's an artist, and he has a home studio, so I could actually release like a studio standards.
Like some jazzy Afrobeat type of, you know. Yeah, it's all you, man. Seasons. We'll not do one cool intro for the screen when we on our way to the seat like the Simpsons.
Okay.
Love it.
From your mouth to God's ears. But yeah, thank you everyone. So it's a wrap for season 1. This is where we should have popped confetti. Poof. Woo! It's a wrap.
Banter and believe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage for their first live show at the O2. Actually, O2 is too far. Can we do co-op, please, in Manchester? I would prefer Manchester. Can't keep going. Everything cannot be in London. That's a conversation for another day.
In fact, you know what? Our first live show will not be in London.
We are not doing London, please.
Come to the Midlands. Let's go up north, somewhere else, please.
Exactly, from Birmingham up, like, if I people should come to Liverpool. If I people should come to Liverpool.
Okay,
I know it's
calm
far,
down.
but come to Liverpool.
Let's do Birmingham. Birmingham is central. So Birmingham is central.
No, let them come to Manchester or Liverpool.
Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But it's a wrap, guys. Peace out.
Peace out. You know what to do. The usual. There's Instagram. There's Twitter. There is, I was about to say Netflix, by God's grace. There
Imagine us
is
having a special. Please, my God is
yeah.
big, and so are my dreams, man.
There's YouTube and the likes, so you know what to do. Banter and believe. See you guys in season
Bye.
2. Bye.